Good morning. Welcome to Flat Earth Early Bird number 1625. I'm your host, Arwin. And before I start the show, please don't forget to share it on any platform you deem fit. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so you know when I'm going live, which is normally 1 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekdays and 2 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekend. And please also do support me through the PayPal and the Patreon. That would be much appreciated, and I really can use it. So, weather today is a little different. It's still very warm, but it's more clouded. Too bright. Yeah, it's like little hazy type fluffy clouds. It's not really blocking a lot of sun, but even when it does, it's not that unpleasant because it is kind of warm and moist. And there's still some wind, but it's not as strong as it was yesterday because on those really clear days, wind does go and blow around a lot. When it's cloudy, it tends to be less. Or when it's like this type of weather. Anyway, the plants are still doing great. And this time I really trimmed down the parsley because I had some of it. Made some garlic sauce yesterday with some purple oregano, one of the purple branches of that, and I wasn't sure like if that's even like if it's supposed to be like that, but it tasted just fine. Although for some reason, I don't know, the purple ones taste less intense. They have less etheric oil, it seems, compared to the green oregano shoots. Right. But anyway, had a really good meal. Had an artichoke. Had that one like I sort of specially ordered. It was a really big one. I did not get to finish it. I basically cut it in half. But I mean, artichoke is really good for me. It's like very good for my stomach, and it like restores a whole bunch of things. That it's like only artichoke can do that for me for some reason. So yeah, I had a really good meal yesterday. Did go to bed a bit late though, but it's also because Benjamin. No, that's not fair because I missed most of him, but he started really early and I didn't see the pop-up from the Alive. And then I just got busy doing other stuff. Right. Anyhow. I don't think I said the date yet. It's Thursday, the 8th of June, 2023. Temperature is probably 23 degrees. Yep. It says fully sunny, but I guess that those thin clouds don't really count with this system. Man, it says Friday it's gonna be 29 degrees. Sheesh. Right. Anyhow, it's still nice. Right, so yesterday was a giant mess overall. I've been kind of puzzled about it. Anyway, hello Richard G, first in chat. But yeah, the show like that situation eventually with Oz. And I really want to apologize to him because I don't know what the hell got in my head when I was in that moment, but like nightmare imagery, that's for sure. I was thinking of bad things and feeling bad things and trying to get away from it, and then suddenly it's like sometimes I can feel really bad and it's seemingly out of nowhere. You don't really see it about me because I don't immediately go, oh no, in response to some feeling coming up or something, right? Don't do that. I'm not spastic. But when it gets really bad, and that happened yesterday, I basically, in almost sort of a panic, subconsciously start to seek a target. To basically, it's like a form of projection, and it's really embarrassing afterward, especially. Okay, Oz, I really appreciate that, dude, and I already noticed that during the show, so I'm not like afraid. It's just that I was unsettled by what happened from my side. I know I already apologized, so it's not about that. But anyway, hello. The problem is that it was just a lot of stress. I already announced that in the show, and it was really significant. I mean, I'm a bit over it. It's just that financial stuff makes like massive amounts of impact. That's why I hate it so much. It makes a massive amount of impact on my feelings, on my fears, and also the corruption influence is pretty significant. Although, yeah, it just makes it, I can't handle it, but it does make it more nightmarish. It's terrible. But the problem was in that moment is just overstressed and like dark things in the world. I mean, they're still going around. Dude, I watched in alternative news. It was all freaking pedo related articles. Dude, but today I feel, I hope it's gonna last, I can handle it a little bit better. Because yesterday also that kind of stuff came by. And again, I even said it then. I kind of like put it to the side. But then something happens and suddenly it just re-emerges. And I get like these horrendous nightmare visions, which was exactly. So, are we live again? Yeah. Wow. Alright. The internet got cut out. Guess it can't handle all that genuineness. Right, but it's back. I got there in time. But it did disrupt me a little. Right, but yeah, the problem is that it basically was a transplant of, I mean, this is a whole psychoanalysis, but it's really that. It was really that. All the freaking pedo related shit. There's so much nightmarishness about it. And that's why I really adamantly refuse to talk about that as a subject. Because it's just so horrendous to me. It's like, I fear that by talking about it, I add to normalizing it. Which is extremely unacceptable to me. It's that bad. Right, but the problem is that the put away nightmares of that day basically forced their way back, and in my kind of stressy moment, that's what I saw. I saw something from what I put away and not the part of the structure of what you and Richard G were communicating about. And I couldn't identify it while I was still in the stress. So the only logical action that I even could have taken was to act it out. in honest response to taking what I saw as genuine, even though it turned out to be just completely wrong. So I mistakenly took it out on you, but that did, being able to do that, and especially you also kind of being understanding about it, even though at first like you didn't know what was going on, but you didn't take it personally. That helped a lot, because your stability like kind of stood out to me as I was going through it. It was very helpful. If you would have reacted, it would have been a drama. If you would have reacted badly. So I guess I'm kind of lucky that you didn't do that. Although I don't know if you're like that at all. You've been pretty laid back overall as a guy. So anyway. That happened. And also, not entirely sure, it might also have something to do with the Gusto energy drink. I mean, I had been drinking it like twice in a row. Like the day before and that day. While I was stressed out. And now I don't think there's like direct caffeine in it. But there is like ginseng in it. Which is something similar. That might have also influenced like the rage or the anxiety. That's why you cut out. You had a, yeah. Had a mood. But that shit even rolled on in FED. It was very agitating. Like very agitating to me. But I do think I get it. It's that when I'm like that, even though I let it go and I move on, like it's still all very intense then. It's like the fire got really heated up and now my personality is like more intense. And this is what happens. When I then get in the debate and people rumpus me, I get loud immediately to try to stop the situation, but what's inside of me is actually kind of a chaotic fire type of energy, and it elicits an immediate spiritual allergic response, it seems. And people, like, they then basically make me blow up. Nathan, like, attacks me for, like, what do you call it, reprimands me, verbally accuses me, while I was the one actually getting rumpused, and he gives no recognition for that. And it's crazy because the others, like, they get rumpused sometimes, and then they complain about it, and everybody's like giving recognition to that. Nathan will even like support, like, hey, stop over talking. He doesn't do that. He didn't do that. Why? Was it because of my energy? So in retrospect, the whole better deal was that I just, as soon as they got into that subject and all that stuff going on, it's like, yeah, I got all this analytical skill, but nobody will fucking listen to me because my energy is a little too intense and they can't handle it. And, like, what the fuck do you do with that? Well, nothing. Go away. I go away. So I did go away, and I stay away. And, like, there's no point. It makes me feel like it's not my place to be there. Like I shouldn't be. That's exactly what it makes me feel like. It's like, oh, no, Arwen should... Oh, he's a little moody, so just let him say a few words and then cut him off and bang him down some more. Like, that's their strategy. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? And I was barely even part of that show. It's like, I let most people just do their thing all the time. I don't get involved, mingle myself in the discussion all the time even. Like everybody else does. And then when I do, and I'm like giving very serious analysis, and I might be a little flustered because I haven't really spoken up too much, so it's a little bit rife in energy, a little bit, yeah, not enough tempered because I hadn't really spoke up a lot, and everybody just rams me down, starts over talking me, and then when it's obvious that I'm still continuing a sentence, they keep talking. Like for 5 seconds straight. I cannot think of a more anti-fucking social thing to do. Like, I would never do that. That's like a personal insult. If you do that in a face-to-face situation, you get your face bashed in. That's happened to me in the past. That's what I feel like when somebody does that. Like, that's bullying. That's literally like censoring you. That's like fucking shit that CNN loves to do and all those nasty ass people. Like, you shouldn't do that ever. It's egregious. It's really fucking antisocial to just continue talking when somebody's just not finished and they're trying to continue. Like, when I interrupt somebody, and it happens sometimes with Nathan, he gets really agitated. And then I apologize and I shut up so he can move on. They don't do that with me! It's fucking discriminatory. And I want it addressed. I want it addressed and I want it stopped. I don't want that to happen anymore. Like, ever. And it doesn't matter what I sound like and what it makes you feel like. It's not fair to give me asymmetrical treatment like that. I don't want it anymore. I demand the right to be a panelist and to be able to finish my sentences, even if they feel a little long-winded to you. Yeah, Nathan, like you are not freaking long-winded all the time. So give me that room too. Give me the room and the best, highest quality insights come out. My highest quality insights never come immediately at the start, because if they did, I'd keep it a very short remark. It works sometimes. That's not, you can't make me that. I am not a guy that's just gonna say 4 words every single time and that's it. No, I'm going to talk and lay out sentences, and they might be a little long. And I want the right to be able to do that without people fucking talking over me every goddamn time I try it. It's not funny. This is not joke time. Right, so, yeah, I don't know, man. Have a private conversation about this. With the person. What? With every single one of them? No. When I have a private conversation, as in when nobody else is around, and I bring this up, they bring up exactly what I just said that they would bring up. It's all about like, no, you just sound wrong. We had to stop it, and they all agree. What the fuck is an individual supposed to do about it? There's nothing I can say about it except you're fucking discriminating against me. Stop it. And then they'll try to negotiate and, what, how do you get those feelings? We have to stop that though. No. It's part of it. It's part of what I am. You guys need to deal with that I can be like that. And that if you have impulses on the inside that are getting so triggered, then you need to get that trigger under control. Not me. Yeah? Get your own triggers under control. I have to get my own triggers under control all the time. Yeah? So these FED panelists, a lot of them trigger me a lot. And there's no point. There's no point in trying to make them stop doing that, those things that trigger me. The best I can do is just in a moment say, can we not do this right now or something? Right? It's like moderator type function with short words. Like, and I'm probably not going to be part of the conversation anyway when I do that. So it's an outsider type social function in that scenario. Yeah, that's what I do if things get like bad enough. That's what I end up doing. It's like slight nudges because I can't even get involved in the conversation. They will literally just like throw me out of the conversation even though I'm on the fucking panel. Like, hey, this is not your conversation. Oh, what? Only 4 other people can talk about that subject. Like only 3 people can get involved with the conversation with Brian that's about Brian. But I can't do that. Even though I'm right there and I'm like in the middle of all of that all the time. Because that's what happened yesterday, yeah? It's fucking insane. It's insane. I'm not one of you guys. Apparently. I'm not really one of you guys. I mean, you like to tell me like, oh yeah, but we're really friends. And yeah, but you don't treat me like that though. Yeah? A friend is not like the guy you treat slightly different. That's not friendship. Yeah, a friend is the one you stick up for when they're treated differently from the rest. That's a friend. People interrupt me might be into... Yes, I know that, Tarot, but that's not the problem. It's not the problem if people try to interrupt me because they kind of are eager to say something and then they step back. They stop, right? I do that too. It happens all the time. That's not even agitating. It's just the hazard of being in a high energy panel like that. The problem is when they insist they have the right to overtalk me. When they start talking in the middle of my sentence and then keep talking as I'm still talking for 5 seconds straight, that is the problem. And that's something I've never fucking done unless it was like a personal attack situation. And then I'm like really fucking angry. And then I might do that, but it's going to be very obvious that I'm not just trying to censor them by simul-talking. Like, oh, no, I'm just gonna start this new conversation because what he's talking about is not important, yeah? That's the shit that happens with me. To me. On FED. And it sucks. It really fucking sucks. It's like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck am I doing there? They're getting all locked in and locked up. in their ways, and they're just like pushing me out. And so still very friendly and all, but like, what the fuck is this, man? Huh? If there's something that's going on, you could say something about it. Yeah, you could get in my chat and say, hey, like, I don't agree with this. Yeah? They never do that, though. Yeah? No, it only comes out when something is exploding, and then there's like they're using all their actual thoughts and feelings about me as like a weapon of last resort, like a secret weapon. And all of a sudden it all comes out. And then it's all like, no, you actually suck. And they'll just say it then. Yeah? But they never say anything, though, in regular time. They never actually just honestly share their thoughts. Huh, Nathan? I mean, I like your little speeches about how you like watching my show. It's really cool. But you never actually say anything outside of a flat earth technical thing in my chat. You never say anything. You're not involved. You don't even know, on average, what I'm talking about, I think. I don't even know whether you actually have structural insight on the same level that you can agree with me. I don't even know if you understand me, Nathan, and the things that I talk about. You certainly don't frickin' respect them when I bring subjects up that aren't flat earth related. Oh my god, do you not respect that? Even though anybody can bring up Christianity all the time. Huh? And things about that definitely don't have anything to do with flat earth. That's no fucking problem to make an entire show about that. But God forbid that I might bring some cosmogony niche idea in the forefront. Oh, no, that's ridiculous. Can't do that. It's just distraction. Oh, really? What about all the other fucking things you guys love to talk about that have absolutely nothing to do with flat earth? You think that might be distracting? Yeah, Terry, I've done that before. And they would get... I don't want to do it anymore, man. This dynamics is not working. Their respect is hollow words. It is. It's all virtue signaling. It feels like virtue signaling. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling the respect in communication. It's all virtue signaling. Yeah? Real respect shows in actions. Not in bunch of talk. In praise. And by the way, the same counts for you guys. Really. Although, yeah, I don't want to get you into this, but... I don't know, man. I feel like I need to move on or something. Like, my skills are not being appreciated for their full potential. It's like I'm being kept down just all the time. It's not a group chemistry that I can continue with. I can't do that. It's too degrading. Yeah? And it's already freaking flat earth. We already have to deal with all these fucking insane people. I don't also want to do with just asymmetrical social situation, yeah? I don't want it that on top of the fucking flat earth insanity. The baller craziness. Yeah? So, yeah, that's it. I don't know if I'm gonna be part of FED. I will leave it, but it continues. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. I've already said that in previous times. Eventually, we'll get back. It's not. It just has to stop. Fact. It just has to stop. Because eventually, like, I will just have no more positive feelings left at all. Like, as part of FED. And then, like, yeah, I'm just gonna do other stuff. Find other people. People that might actually attempt to, like, in the group dynamic, treat me like a bit of an equal. Yeah, well, maybe 5. Maybe you should stay to your own business. No. No. No, I'm just gonna do whatever I want. And I'm gonna try to find people that'll not treat me like freaking shit all the time. Yeah, poor form, that's right. So yeah, I'm just gonna stay out of it, and I don't know, man, maybe other people will contact me. Maybe it's just time to completely drop out of that shit. Maybe I'll start talking about dielectric acceleration again and the ether. Maybe I'll just do that. Maybe I'll just say, hey, go fuck yourself, huh? This is popular, I'm gonna do it. Yeah, it's retarded, I don't care, it's a belief. Maybe people want to talk about belief. Maybe they don't just want to hear an atmosphere of social abuse all the time. Maybe they don't want to hear that. I mean, a lot of people that follow my show like my show and not Nathan's show because of that. Yeah? And they literally tell me in chat, so it's not something I just made up. Okay? Electricity and magnetics? Magnetism, you mean, is not a belief? Well, electricity and magnetism, yeah, that's there. Don't know what that has to do with anything, George Sanford. Hello, Nathan. Might want to catch up on today's show. Who in particular cuts me off? It all depends. All depends on the subject. Nathan likes to cut me off, especially when I'm going to dive into like presuppositional details about something. When he doesn't want that argument in that moment. Oh, he always does that. Fine, whatever, man. And 10th man usually likes to cut me off. I don't know, when there's some kind of, when he feels like I've not been, my attitude is not proper or something. Ryan cuts me off when I criticize his subject, whatever his thing is, and I give an opinion about it. He doesn't like that. And Adam just cuts me off when he's in a bad mood and I'm in a bad mood. Yeah. A chocolate rarely cuts me off. He doesn't really do that. I cut him more off than he cuts me off, and I'm really sorry about it. I don't mean to, but I do realize that happens. I don't know why, it's just we got this similar timing thing. It's weird. I'm sorry about that. I try not to, right? John refracted curvature, not really. Like he's not very, he's can be rumpusy, but with very niche, like when it's his thing, when he's getting oppositionally defined, and then he gets like that, but I'm never involved in that. That's usually like Brian and 10th Man and all that. And let's see, yeah, well, QE, yeah, well, yeah, but he does that with everybody. When he's in a mood, he kind of gets in, and then he just... So... It's not really... It's not like on a daily basis either, so that's okay. So yeah. Everybody does cut everybody off. Except, I don't really cut people off. Except by accident. The only reason I ever cut people off is because I kind of was really enthusiastic to insert something. But it's not like to cut them off. Unless they're like making a technical error about something. And I'm spotting it. But that's different. That's like just technical. So yeah, it's a mess. What? What does that mean, Oz? A heel turn in honor of the Sheikh? What? You're not talking about me, right, Oz? Because I'm not doing a heel turn at all. Like, I don't care if Nathan's in here. What I have to say is addressed to him anyway. And I know he doesn't actually go into a conversation. As I already mentioned at the start of this rant. He's never actually had a conversation in my chat, so it just says hello and that's it. Right. So anyhow, yeah, FED yesterday was very annoying. And I went to do other stuff. Kind of watching InfoWars, because that's also running. I mean, it is. It's not always super interesting though, but yes. Wow. Ooh, aliens. Oh god, aliens everywhere. Alex Jones was also like rambling on about aliens and... Oh, it's the new storytelling time. It's a great distraction. Bringing it out. I could talk about it too. I mean, why not? Got plenty to say about it. Do you like Jay Dyer? Not really. I mean, he just seems very pretentious to me. But I mean, it might be personal. He does like know some interesting stuff for sure. But I just don't like the way he talks. It's just this. I just don't like it. His stance is not one that I can enjoy at all. As I said, I think it's pretentious. Can be funny? Oh, well, I've never seen that, though. Yeah, I know he tries to be funny sometimes. I don't think it's fucking funny, like, at all. Like, that's dead reckoning, embarrassing, not funny. Like, he's not funny. At all. And he thinks he can be funny, but he isn't. He just is not funny. It's not funny. It doesn't have that energy. It's not funny. I don't know, man. But whatever. If you like him, fine. I think he's a bit of a... I mean, he does that weird fucking lighting thing too. Have you ever seen that? Weird, like, colored light shit. Like, why the fuck are you doing that, you weirdo? Why are you trying to play with that shit? That's gross. Like, it genuinely looks gross when he does that. A weird... What is it? Like the magenta blue type light. Like, I don't even know why the hell people do that at all on their live videos. Like, why do that? Alright. Crash in Nevada. Well, aliens. Yeah. Oh, I got some article here that just popped in the feed. That's in Las Vegas. People have claimed to see aliens. Yeah. Oh, that's the one you were talking about? Yeah. Right, so yeah, I mean, if there's literally these weird bodies popping up and there's like, if there's going to be actual like corpses of aliens or even living aliens, I mean, that's a product of human-based genetic engineering. It might be their long-term pride project of making a non-human living thing through some magic or old tech or whatever the hell it is. So yeah, that might be the one rolling out. I mean, had plenty of time to breed them, whatever they are. It's all in human origin. Everything that you get to touch in this physical world, all of that, whether it's like a biological organism or a piece of tech, it's all man-made. All of it. Guaranteed. I guarantee you, all man-made. Now, any spiritual experiences, that's another matter. Yeah. Any beings that leave physical remains, any technology that leaves debris, it's all man-made, guaranteed. Just, you know it is. I mean, Hitler was into that shit 100 years ago. They had a lot of time to work on it. And you know Operation Paperclip and all that, right? Yeah, well, guess what they were working on. You can guess. A wild guess. It's that same program. It's all the same program. They're doing it. It's another form of NASA, you could say, more advanced. It's like, oh, NASA just reified going to the moon and outer space. And then some other department, they create aliens, and now they have this other factor that they can roll out for stunts. Like organisms they made that they can leave behind to reinforce, like, oh, aliens were here, when they're obviously man-made. They're not going to be self-replicating organic beings. Yeah, you're not going to find aliens with reproductive organs, and that's why they really are super pro-trans and all that shit too. If it's ever going to be some open thing eventually, I guarantee you, I said it yesterday, it's true. It's going to be the most liberal aliens you can ever imagine, including the eugenics aspect, of course. I mean, gotta put that in, right? So yeah, whatever's gonna roll out in the future and might be, oh, aliens suddenly are just beings that are actually living with us, and you can actually see them and talk with them, and yeah, they're really weird and they don't feel right. Yeah, that could be. It's all man-made. It's all gonna be used for political leverage. How do you know about alien genitals? Have you ever heard or seen of those, Fester? It's pretty distinctly described in people's encounters of aliens that they don't wear clothes, they don't have genitals. I'm sorry, it's just what seems to be the case. Unless you have a story exception for that. That's not just blatantly made up by some troll. So yeah, I mean, I was into ufology, like around the end of the 20th century, around 2000. Where do baby aliens come from? I don't know if anybody ever asked, but I can give you a good guesstimate. And that is that they literally are bred in vats. I mean, it's going to be everything that they want. Of course. I mean, they're genetically modified. Well, if you're going to start genetically modifying a being, well, then eventually you end up with being forced to go to cloning. Because when you genetically modify beings a little bit too much, guess what happens? You effectively mutate them, really far away from the original life blueprint, if you can even manage to keep them alive, because usually it just dies very quickly when it's very far off the original blueprint. If you can prevent that, well, they're going to be sterile and potentially insane, or like severely mentally handicapped in ways. Like, that's what happens with mutation. The more something mutates, it becomes sterile, it becomes really mentally incapable, and if it gets worse, then it just straight out dies very quickly. That's what happens with advanced genetic modification. So if there are alien beings that have been genetically engineered by humans, absolutely, then they are probably clone-based, because they wouldn't be able to reproduce. They cannot be made into a stable thing. Yeah. No. I don't know if they know anything like that. I think you're attributing too many factors that just don't come into play anymore. They might not even have emotions at all. So what are you talking about, love? Have you ever heard of like a gray alien type? Of them showing emotional responses. Have you ever heard of a story in which they are nothing other than like a robot type blank soul that would just mechanically operate things? Because that's how they're described in all the alien stories. Okay, there's no emotional alien or anything, except for that stupid ass movie. I find it very annoying. You might find it charming. Called Paul, all things. Or it's the smart ass alien, kind of like the alien from American Dad, except more funny or something. Like, yeah, that's where that exists. Yeah, in the actual supposed alien encounter stories, they're always non-emotional. They don't have feelings, as far as I know. I like the actor. Yeah, sure you did. I hate that movie. Sorry. I just don't like it. It's, yeah, whatever. Don't want to talk about that movie. The point is that there are certain factors about the aliens that are generally described, and if you're going to attempt to say, okay, they might be physically real, well, here's what the conclusions would be if they turned out to be physically real. And that is, yeah, well, no emotions, no reproduction organs, even though they don't wear clothes. So you should, if people see them, then you could definitely see, like, hey, there's nothing in between those legs. There's no slit, no ding-along, whatever. Right? It's not there. So they're vacant of emotion. The conclusion would be they're genetically engineered. And they probably say they're genetically engineered. They probably would say something like that. And so they probably come out of vats. Cloning vats. No. Yeah, now that only happens in actual alien movies where they get weird and freaky, yeah? Now there's no animal that have their penises in a different place. Yeah? 944F? They don't exist. You don't have a genetic blueprint to make that happen. So yeah, you can imagine that in a sci-fi series and of all the weird things that might be in alien sci-fi. But in reality, there's not going to be a reproductive organ that's not going to be between some creature's legs. Unless they don't have legs, but yeah, I mean, that's... It's not like, oh, let's take a squid or something. Although... Let's take a squid and try to mingle it with the human, and then maybe the reproductive organ will suddenly be very different. Well, a lot of things would probably be extremely different, and the point is there's no living creature that we know of that would be like that. That you could cross over, that you could genetically integrate with the humanoid creature to achieve that. God. Although, dude, I don't even know what they're up to in genetic engineering these days. I just know that the rule of mutation stands. Worse it gets, you get sterility, and then you get mental vacancy. Anyway. Right, so aliens, who? There might be something rolling out. Right, just know that if you meet such things, you just met a genetic creature that's basically been engineered by by Nazis. Pretty much what it is. Love how lights in the sky has turned into aliens. Yeah, well, there's plenty. There's plenty of just lights in the sky. And there's probably some weird physical craft that are not operated by organic beings, that are in them, that are remote operated, like weird drones that just like metal balls that can just float and bolt super quick. So there's some mechanical things that are associated with alien origin. They call them like drones, or they're suspected to be drones. Plasma works in... Okay. I don't think it has anything to do with plasma directly, but whatever. The story of Crix? No. If I have, then it's like over 20 years ago, and I definitely don't remember. DNA, another occult hoax or scientism. That's cute. There is weird stuff with it, yeah. I mean, there's a lot wrong with organic microcosmology, right? And it's like even people like Adam Meakin will just admit to that. Because there's a lot of bluff, like viruses aren't actually real particles. There's no real thing that is cohesive and does what they say it does. And it's probably not the only one. But I'm not sure whether like the entire idea of genetics is wrong. Because, I mean, genetic engineering is actually a thing. It is actually changing things. Guy supposedly was the user of LSD. Well, that doesn't surprise me. Because you do find such things. I mean, through that kind of... You get beings on the other side that will tell you that. They could show you, or you could even get into contact and then just like start talking to them and they will tell you. But those beings are, you could definitely consider them as like fallen angel types or Prometheans. And they try to give you ideas that are real, but that are like bad to pursue for obvious reasons. I mean, oh, genetics, oh, look what you can do, you can change everything. Oh yeah, it's not like that's not been tried before. Yeah, there's an entire biblical story about that. It's so, yeah, you get really advanced ideas from psychotropics, but I mean, where's that gonna lead to? Who's giving you that? Genetic engineering's forced evolution. What? No, evolution doesn't exist, Saint Solo. There is no evolution. Like, not genetically, at least. There's no Darwinian evolution. One species does not change into another species over time. It doesn't happen. There's only adaptation. There's a specific genetic range that every creation has, every specific being type. They can adapt to conditions like toxic conditions, cold, heat. They have all this range of what they can become like based on the conditions that they could handle. And then they can adapt, and that's how you have basically humans that look very differently. It's because they're adapted to different things. And the same goes with a lot of animals. But there's no evolution, though. One species does not change into another ever. It's all pre-designed. Every creature you see has its own original genetic blueprint, or maybe not genetic if you don't think that exists, has its own original design that it entered the world with. However that happened, right? God. I'm very much assuming God. But it's logically inescapable. Whether you think it's God or aliens did it, whatever, you can, of course, you can always escape God and replace it with something else and then just don't think further about it. But the point is that evolution doesn't exist. It's adaptation and, unfortunately, devolution. Yeah? Because over time, the coherence of the genetic information is only lost. It doesn't evolve, it doesn't get better, it only gets worse, unfortunately. Genetic information is lost. And weird enough, the more you do bad things and sin, the worse it gets. And then you literally degenerate your breed. Sin degenerates your breed. Like genetically. It's not just like spiritually. It also has a physical influence. So your actions directly influence your being. Like the physical aspect of it. Chimera result. Well, yeah, if you start genetic engineering, you create hybrids, and they will be half and half. So it's, yeah, you get a chimera, and eventually chimeras have the standard issue. They have issues with being able to reproduce. They become sterile. They often attain mental deviations or incapabilities. Right? So you can, for example, crossbreed even, and that's even like physically doable. You don't even need like genetic engineering, or you can just cross a horse with a donkey and get a mule. But the mule can't reproduce. But it works pretty decent. Right? Well, think of that. If you're going to actually create a chimera of multiple species into one, it's going to have that similar effect. And then either, if it still can reproduce, the same thing will happen as what happens with genetically modified crops that are in between non-genetically modified crops. Eventually, the genetically modified crops just die off. Well, I'm convinced that if you are like a weird combination of creatures and you can still reproduce, that there's a good chance that the original blueprints will try to isolate themselves. Because it's not supposed to be. The blueprints are not supposed to be mixed. There's a good chance that eventually it's like, even if you have minor modifications, like, oh, I just want this one heart disease thing or something, that's better. That's cool. Well, you could think it's cool, it might be risky, whatever, and then fix it. But there's a good chance that if you keep reproducing, that in your offspring, it will still eventually click back to the original position because it's part of the entire original blueprint. It could be. Right? It's like you modify something, but if it's still capable of breeding and you keep breeding it, eventually it will go back to the old format. It will breed out the modifications. So are you guys listening to anything I'm talking about right now, or letting Akumu virus just insert something else? Okay, to man, share a common ancestor. Yeah, sure. Yeah, they don't though. I mean, monkeys have as much ancestry with you. Oh, wait, hold on. Genetically, monkeys have less ancestry with humans than worms. Yeah? Literal worms from the ground. Like, the entire assessment of how things are supposedly genetically sharing in an ancestry is just completely wrong. There's likenesses, but that's because the original designer designed everything with the same blocks, and there's huge amounts of them. So yeah, you can even find just like, oh, that's like human genetics. Yeah, in a worm, it's right there. It's like, oh, it's exactly the same. Yeah. Does that mean we have a common ancestry with worms? No. It's just the same building blocks that were originally used by the designer. Okay, sure, Akumu virus. Fibonacci sequence? Okay. Sure. Low truth over comfort. When you Google cells, all you get is cartoons. Yeah, of course. Although you might get some microscope visuals. I mean, I've seen cells non-digitally under microscopes, so they do exist. Right. Anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying what I'm talking about thus far. Aliens and genetic engineering. What? Do I know about GMOs? Yeah, I know about GMOs. I just talked about it. By the way, what I just said actually gave me a very interesting idea. I just said it. I didn't. It literally like came out of nowhere in that sense because it wasn't even part of my reasoning. But what I was trying to say. But I mean, there is a chance that there is something more than genetics to the blueprint of the design. Maybe genetic information that is lost can actually be restored without resorting to genetic engineering. Because what if, like, the blueprint is not the genetics itself, but the genetics are like the code of the blueprint. Like it's almost like a communication of the what if the genetics are secondary to something that's much more ethereal? What if the blueprint is like throughout time and spirit in the other side? It's carried through and can get all mixed up, but maybe then under the right circumstances, like original genetics might be restored out of nothing through natural breeding, actually. Right? Think about it. Like, you could have a person that's like getting all genetically damaged through medical experimentations and all that, and then you assume, based on basic genetic logic heritage, how people think about it, like, oh yeah, that means that it's all damaged then and never gonna restore. Might be, but maybe it can, because it's not the original blueprint, and the original blueprint is an original design. So could it be that, I don't know, like or maybe I'm just magical thinking at this point. But maybe like original genetics that were like kind of lost, they might be restored based on an idea that it's not the genetics itself that is like the blueprint. What if you could restore the original blueprint somehow? Now that would be interesting, right? storing the original blueprint would be like undoing all the attrition, all the entropy damage. Now, whether the original blueprint could even viably survive in how the environment now is, that's another matter, right? Because the original blueprints didn't have to contest with radio towers being everywhere, and with the air probably in relation being a lot thinner, and with just sin being more compacted. But it might be possible. Did I see the parts of a cell through a microscope? No. I saw cells, not part of a cell. Although, I did see cell cores. Cell core. I did get to see that. It's what is mind-blowing? Are you guys still talking about what I'm talking about or not? Hello, LSG. By the way, good to see you. The intricacies? Yeah. Cell wall nucleus. Right, that's me too, Kumu virus. Although nucleus, that's what they say it is. But there's something there. Wow. My computer's getting a little bit overheated. No, not really, but I mean OBS really does make like my computer work, because it turns on the fan and everything a lot. Like even during winter it does that. But OBS really drains a lot of power from your computer. Right. Anyway, hope you guys are enjoying the show. Got some stuff to talk about. What's the temperature? No, it's not overheat. It's just that the fan's going on. I don't know. That's how I know. It's just when it goes wee. That's how I know. And it does not. It doesn't. There's nothing else that does it more than running OBS. Except maybe if I like play 2 video games and watch a bunch of streams at the same time. That also can turn it on a bit. Well, it seems to be doing great now. Maybe it was the other game. I turned it off. Huh. Yeah. I think that could have been it. Great. 91? Is that a Fahrenheit? Yeah, it's warm enough. But it's good here now because like the sun is no longer hitting the wall. It's very, very doable in here now. See, so it's still outside. But it's not hitting the wall anymore. See? So, which is great because it's plenty of warm. It's kind of uncomfortable in the morning when I wake up because it gets so freaking warm. Celsius for oh, yeah. What? Game's most demanding. Real. It depends on the video game, though. I mean, if there's not a lot of activity happening, it usually doesn't really do much, George. But yeah, some games, the engines just like are very demanding. Especially 3D environment type games. Anyway, it stopped. Was wondering how conversation got to aliens and genes. Because aliens. I mean, everybody's freaking talking about aliens. I'm usually kind of shy for a subject to bring up, so I thought, like, okay, well, I do have things to say about aliens. I mean, just look in the description box. Yeah, it's still in there. Hashtag aliens. I mean, it's been in there for years. It's just usually I don't really talk about it super elaborately. And I don't have heliocentric related stories about aliens coming from outer space. But there's a lot of information. And I have ideas about it. And I shared some of those on this show. But I'm kind of convinced that they're man-made. And the Nazis pretty much started it. I mean, you could say that these aliens are like the results of some kind of Ubermensch attempt. Or like in that same direction that they'd made Ubermensch and may have succeeded. I mean, there's stories of, what do you call them? The Nordic aliens, super blonde, very beautiful. There's those stories. Right, also coming out of UFOs. Now, those might have just straight out been Nazis, but also it might have been the result of genetics, like that. But there's also these aliens. And they come around at roughly the same time. So there's a good chance that they just did a whole bunch of really heavy, deep genetic experiments in times when people didn't even know there was such a thing, and attempted to, well, make them, resulting in Nordics and these gray aliens, right? And pandas, perhaps. It is sort of, you don't know, maybe. The point is, I'm quite convinced that aliens are the result of man-made genetic engineering. I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens. That's hilarious. Classical homeopath, hello. Mm. Yeah. Yeah, the crazy fires in Canada. Yeah, those things, like, there's videos out there of people analyzing it, and like time lapse videos of like the fire from top down, and like those fires all simultaneously started burning, like all like over a huge amount of surface, like multiple spots. They suddenly, all of them just, the smoke starts everywhere at the same time. That was crazy. I've never seen anything like that. I mean, it's almost like there were just like little fire starting things, like little mini fire bombs, just to get a forest fire started, that they would had planted them, and then somebody just pressed the button and they all went off. It's really, it looked like that. It was so synchronous. It's crazy. Like, they definitely did not light each other naturally. Way too much distance between. Yeah, so that's pretty weird. Huh? Oh wow, cool. Seeking Star Water. Hello. Mhm. Your garden is dear. I've seen that a lot, by the way, Seeking Star Water. There's like many videos of people out there that are like continually get it visited by wildlife. That's just like, yeah, we live here too. And it's not like they're like even being territorial. They're just like, no, we just live here too. Like deer getting falling in swimming pools and stuff. They were here first. Right. What? Okay. They don't like garlic. Hmm. That's interesting, George. This is an interesting point. Garlic, like bugs, don't like garlic. Hmm. Yeah. Man, my back, by the way, is completely restored. it's really kind of weird to just notice, like, it felt like, oh my god, I'm getting so old, and it's like really completely gone. And I'm trying to like use it. I'm like, oh, it's gone? Okay, now I'm gonna actually like really do more training to make sure that it, like, to see what I can still get out of it. Like, I want to remain very flexible as I age. Like, without it, life would be a lot harder for me. But yeah, I still have most of it. It's kind of funny how that works. It's just like, it starts to freeze up and can get, like, for quite some time. And then it's just like, we're done. And it's like, it's almost like reconstruction work, right? Like a building, and then you get like scaffolding and all that, and it's like, it's in the way, but they're fixing it, and then it is gone, and it's like, oh wow, it's as new. It really, sometimes it feels like that. It's like, oh my god, they're building the scaffolding right in your back, and it's like, oh shit, you can't maneuver anymore, and it can be even a little bit painful, agitating. But then eventually, at the end, it's like, oh, the scaffolding removed, and it's like, whoa, just like new. It's really funny how that works. I'm very happy about it. So yeah, I complain a lot about my back. And now I'm gonna say, hey, my back is doing great. I'm so happy. And I called it. I'm so glad that despite feeling like, oh my god, I'm getting old, that I knew, like, no, it is going away. And that I said it. And now I'm here, and it's gone away, exactly like I said. And I'm happy about it, right? So I just want to share my feelings of happiness instead of always like, I feel bad about this, or I feel bad about that. Even though, yeah, sometimes I really do feel bad about something, and then I have to talk about it, like at the beginning of this show. Although I just don't just complain just to whine, and I don't complain to try and be a victim. I just want to get things cleared up. I want things rectified and cleared up. And that's all. Weed out of your hand? Yeah. Now see, there's like huge amounts of video. I mean, YouTube and all that, like social media might have actually like created a market for wild animals. It sounds weird, right? Like, it sounds really weird. But what if this is actually real? And it started with cats, by the way, although they're not wild. But like, cats and animals, while they got different types of attention from people after social media came into being. You realize that? But before that, it was always like, oh, look at an animal, oh cute, and he just stands still, and it's like, oh, that's nice. Or like, damn animal, get the hell out of here, right? But now it's like, oh, I can film that, oh. And like, the animals get more bold. They're more bold now. Why? Because people, well, sort of socialize with them now using social media. And so they're getting more bold. They're like, hey, I'm ready to perform. Bring out your mobile. I'm a deer, right? They know. Humans now are kind of different than they were like 40 years ago. Because now there's social media, and everybody always brings out that mobile, starts filming, and they behave differently, and they're more observing. And those animals can feel they're getting attention. So now they're coming like, hey, can you make another video of me? Right? Sometimes some people that do that, they probably even hear that in their head. Like, oh, the deer is coming. Oh, it wants me to film it. It's looking like, oh. I don't know. This might sound a little weird, but it is a thing, though. I mean, all these animals are getting more bold. They do, like, it's almost like they're aware they're being watched. Like they're enjoying the fame or something. It's weird. Does anybody notice that? I mean, this should be tested. Like, genuinely. You could test it with cats, right? Have cats, and then, like, divide them in two groups, basically. Like, maybe from the same family, or I don't know how exactly it will work, but, like, one gets just regular attention and just they get to be a cat. And maybe, like, hunt and shit outside, whatever. The other ones, they get, like, pampered and videoed all the time. Those cats are going to be very different. And they're going to be, like, aware of the attention. And they're going to be trying to manipulate and play you a lot more. It's kind of funny how that works. And I think that, like, animals outside also, just like, I don't know, 40 years ago, there wouldn't have been like a lot of people that would just like, hey, a wild deer, I'll feed him some, just because they want to. And I think also it's recommended not to do that because it's not healthy for deer. That would be logical, right? But now it's like, oh, we can film that, and then you will feed it, right? Because that's cute. The Iron Shark. What? What am I supposed to have heard about? I don't know what you're talking about. Phil of PNK. No. I did notice though, I did see in the feed that where did I see that? Oh wait, yeah, I heard it on Owen Benjamin's that Saudi Arabia bought Instagram? Or was it not Instagram? Was it another one? Damn it. I'm mixing it up. He dead? Iron Shark. Okay. I don't know who that is. I mean, the name is vaguely familiar, but... Oh, wait, that's the professional wrestler. Okay. Dies at 81. Alright. Facts? No. I doubt it. But I mean, he's a wrestler, he was 81. He probably did some steroids and shit. A lot of them did. That's gonna leave him. I mean, it's pretty remarkable that he even got it to 81. But yeah, no, seeking star. That shouldn't even be the first question. He's 81. But yeah, I don't know. Could be. Don't bring it up though, please. Ugh. See if you live 81 after being sat on by Andre the Giant a bunch of times. Right. Yeah. And he made it past Andre the Giant, so. Robert Toy of the Iron Shake, that's hilarious. Oh, okay, slow-mo. Yeah, well, that's not really gonna help either then. No, it wasn't yeah, no, Saudi Arabia didn't buy up Instagram, it bought up something else. What was it? I just heard that from Owen Benjamin before this stream. I just forgot the name. It was something RNA or something? I don't know. Obviously you guys don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, whatever. Right, I hope you guys are enjoying the show, by the way. Today's been a lot less moody. Or just say nothing for 3 minutes straight. Are you all having your minutes of silence for the Iron Sheik? So, oh, Twitter. It was Twitter. Yeah. Thanks, Saint Solo. Wait, was it Twitter? No, it wasn't Twitter. What? I guess I'll just have to Google it. Second largest invest. Oh wait, it might be. No wait, but that's like from over a year ago. But Saudi Arabia is supposedly second largest investor in Twitter after Musk, or at least it was a year ago. I don't know. I'm not seeing any new feeds here, because this definitely just supposedly just happened. Oh, for fuck's sake, get out of my... Get out of here. Okay, it's not helping. But yeah, whatever it was. It's kind of funny. Owen was going all off, but yeah, I want Saudi Arabia to do that because then they then they will ban like LGBT things, which is a good point. Was it Social Galactic or something? Nah, I don't know why I'm... Yeah, never mind. I'm not gonna figure it out. Okay, Darren. I kind of hope you guys won't do that in my chat, though. Yeah, I know. I know you can't because I've put it in the banned list, Darren. I just don't like that word anyway. I know, Tarot. I'm just saying the whole word is banned for, yeah, like in my banned list. Like, so in the auto ban is like the word pedo. Because I don't really like people getting obsessed with that. That they then just like want to know everything and blame everything on the facts and all that. I don't like it. Like, not everything is only about that. Like, people also die for other reasons. But I mean, yeah, I'm not saying that it isn't possible. You might have, but I mean, yeah. I mean, you're gonna have to tune into another show they'll update you about the details of all that kind of stuff, because that's not what we're gonna be talking about here. Try telling someone that and they got mad. Yeah. Wait, what? You tried telling people that people die because of other reasons, not related, and they got mad about that. Wow. Okay. Well, that just goes to show why I would, like, yeah, object to that word. Because I don't want to get all those weirdo people that just are saying everything is only about that. Although, hey, I'm one of those people that have said, don't underestimate it. Like, it's definitely gonna leave a lot of marks. And on the long run, risks of, like, yeah, that you actually will die of it on the long run, because, well, apparently, like, all these cancers and things, and the weird, yeah, stuff that gets stuck in your arteries and all that, right? I mean, that does seem to happen, at least with a whole bunch of them. Not every single one, though. Although, yeah, we don't even know what that stuff is and how it works, and it might, you don't know. It might be that some of it is literally dormant. Somebody's like having no symptoms whatsoever, and then suddenly 10 years later it just suddenly comes out of nowhere. You don't know. I don't know, because we don't understand how that shit has been engineered. What is in it? We don't even know. We just get to see the results of it. That's all we get. Yeah. It's just a huge medical experiment. And we don't get the information. We only get to see the results. That's factually true, guys. Just realize that. There's been no coming out about the details of what is in those experimental shots. There's no detail about it. Still not. So all we get is the results. We don't know what it is. Which makes it even more crazy that people would actually accept something like that under those conditions. It's absolutely insane. And immeasurably foolish. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm just not gonna be part of that. Ever. Problems will be seen generations from now. Maybe. You see, Richard G., I don't really know. There's issues with, like, with procreation because of the medical experimentation that's been out there, and like premature abortion. What do you call that? Losing the baby and all that when it's not even born yet. Miscarriages. So there are things, but I mean, if somebody like managed to still be able to procreate, then we don't know if the offspring will also be having the same issues. We don't know. Right? Like, again, there's a good chance that whoever is going to just survive it and still be able to procreate, that their offspring will have absolutely no issues as long as they keep clean and everything. Really. Breeding mosquito. Yeah, to do what? Look, those mosquitoes can supposedly inject all kinds of thingies and all that, even bacteria. Or parasites. That's known. That's what malaria is. But, like, it's this idea that, oh, the mosquito is going to come and inject something in you and that's going to change you? No. There's no living creature that could actually have the level of toxic garbage that could survive even having that in it. Enough for it to be able to genetically modify you in accordance to the technology. There is no way. It can never be all put into a living thing. There's no mosquito going to bite you and then suddenly you're genetically modified. That's just never going to happen. Can't. Because genetic modification takes some weird, freaky shit that's very toxic. An animal or a creature can't just carry such transformative substances in it and spread it. That just doesn't work. So yeah, it might be breeding mosquitoes. It's fucking rumors, dude. It's all just paranoia seeding. It doesn't work. I mean, when you're breeding mosquitoes, what you could do is, yeah, you could make them all malaria mosquitoes, or you can make them worse or more painful, or you can sterilize them, right? Send out a whole bunch of sterile males and then they don't procreate. There's all kinds of things you can do. What you can't do is create like a genetic modification substance and put that in a mosquito in order for that genetic modification to happen by it biting people. That can't happen. Guaranteed it. Guarantee it, really. And the rest is just like, oh, spreading, or it's gonna vaccinate you. Like, that doesn't even mean anything. What is it gonna do? Just dispense certain bacterias? Right? I mean, mosquitoes are not gonna carry in thimerosal. Okay? They're not going to carry in all that really toxic shit that they put in vaccinations. And that's official, even before the medical experimentation. So a regular vaccine, you can't actually do that. It doesn't make any sense. The worst it could do is just inject a couple of like unusual bacteria in you, and then your body like works with that in response to that. And that's it. Or it could inject a parasite like malaria, and then you have a problem. You got the parasite now. Like, that's the range of what you could do. The rest is all science fiction, all just megalomaniacal demon porn to make you afraid and give you a reason to not do anything, be an absolute sniveling, cucking coward. Because the powers that be are almighty and there's nothing we can do. Yeah, so they make up bullshit stories about mosquitoes are gonna get you, it's gonna ruin your life. Like, you don't have to listen to that garbage and take it serious. Can't work. Extreme limitation to what you could even do like that. Do you understand? I'm asking you guys, do you understand that you can't do those things? It's not because, oh, that's outrageous, we can't do that. No, it's literally impossible. Yeah? I mean, what's the worst it could do? Is just seed a couple of bacteria in you, your body has to deal with that. And that's it. It doesn't do anything. Yeah? The real damage and shit that we get from vaccines, allegedly, but people do actually admit it sometimes with the older things. That's not from the organism or whatever that, right? No, that's from the toxin shit. That's from the thimerosal. That's from, which is mercury, by the way. It's from all these other squalene things, all these weird, highly toxic substances that are like admitted highly toxic. Like meant to create a provocation to the body. Literally to poison you in order to elicit a response. Okay? That stuff is not gonna sit in the glands of a mosquito. Okay? It's super poisonous. You can't have that in a mosquito. It wouldn't survive. See? You shouldn't in your mind say, oh, mosquito, oh, it's gonna spread a vaccine because Bill Gates made it, and then say that that's the same as some stuff that you have to put in your arm, bypassing your blood barrier. Much worse, like injecting a whole bunch of stuff in there, right? Mosquito, that's like micro droplet compared to what you actually put in you with vaccinations. And that's real serious, like, chemical point. Like, if you take a droplet of vaccine like that, whatever it is, and you drop it on a mosquito, that mosquito's freaking dead very quickly. Okay? Yeah? So that mosquito's not gonna carry that inside its glands and do the same thing to you. It can't. It's a myth. The worst it can do is spread parasites like malaria, and I don't know, you could maybe make it spread certain bacteria. But I mean, your body's just gonna take care of that. Just like it does. I mean, what will that do? Well, it might make it a little bit more inflamed than usual. And then it'll just go away again. Right? It's not going to have some weird tech in it. It's not going to have some graphene or whatever. That, oh, the mosquito bit you. You got a mark now. Like, no. It's an organism. It can't contain that shit and live. Right? So don't worry about that. Realize that a lot of the shit that we get thrown at us about evil people like Bill Gates and all these nasty dysgenics people, a lot of it is bluff. I say it regularly. Yes, the real Satanists, they bluff. They bluff with their evil, with their power of evil. They bluff with it. They make up things that are not really happening just to frighten you. And people get obsessed over that, get paranoid, because they buy the bluffs, right? And you have to be really careful and analyze it up close and compare it, like I've just done, to point out, like, wait, no, that is just fear porn. It's not physically possible. Don't be afraid of that. Yeah. No mosquito is going to find you, bite you, and then suddenly you're sterile or something. But be careful with malaria, though. But you can get rid of malaria, right? I think that, like, was it hydroxychloroquine? That was officially an anti-malaria drug. So yeah, that works. It works, like, you don't have any lasting damage because of that. So yeah. That's safe. Okay, is anybody going to say anything anymore? Did everybody just go to FED or something? Okay. My Skype is all weird and dead again. Whatever. So guys, yeah, I hope you found this show very interesting and more enjoyable. Can I get some feedback for that? Hey Oz, you're still there? Good. Just got a recommendation with YouTube that last night. Cures malaria back. Right, and which one was it, Richard G? Right, yeah, thanks Oz. I appreciate it. I did my best. I mean, it's been a good show. I didn't even like need a special drink or a Illuminati croissant. I just just lasted just I'm still digesting like that great meal from yesterday with the artichoke. I mean, that was great. It wasn't hydroxychloroquine? Okay. Right, but there's multiple types of drugs, I think, that work like against malaria. Could have also been ivermectin. I'm not sure. Right. Anyway, it's not really important. There's like drugs against malaria. They work fine. Been like used for centuries. For a century at least. Especially in African countries where it tends to be more. Right, anyway. I'm gonna run out the show. It's been over 2 hours. So thanks everyone for coming. I hope you liked this show. If you did, then please don't forget to Rogan's it up. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so you know when I'm going live, which is normally 1 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekdays and 2 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekend. And please also do support me through the PayPal and the Patreon. That'll be much appreciated and quite needed, really. So yeah, please keep the support coming. That would be great. Otherwise, I'm gonna run out of food like during the weekend. I'm serious. So please, somebody support me so I can keep going. That would be great. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the show. Right. I don't think I'm gonna be joining the Flat Earth debates. I'll take a look. I'll see. I just don't feel like it after yesterday and no word from anybody. They're probably all convinced that it was just me. It's just I just have to get over it, and I'm like, go fuck yourselves. Yeah? Go fuck yourselves. I mean it. If that's what you feel, it's just me, you have to get over my no. Everything I talked about at the beginning of the show absolutely stands. It is true, it is empirical, everybody sees that that is exactly what happens, and that's why I do get confirmation from the chat that I am correct about my assessments there. And I'm sick of it. I don't want to be part of that. I don't want to waste several hours of my time sitting through that. And that's also why I just continued the show thus far. Anyway. Right, so anyway, I'll be back tomorrow with Flat Earth Early Bird number 1626 on a Friday. Hope to see you all there. And until the next video, keep it flat.